Let's talk about weed, as we do often. Actually, just yesterday in the election, Colorado, they're going to start taxing weed now, and it's already recreationally legal there, and it's, I think, also got voted in Portland, Oregon yesterday. So good stuff's happening in the weed department. And then, according to a new report that was obtained by the Huffington Post, legal marijuana is among the fastest growing markets in the United States, and it's growing at a rate posed to outpace the expansion of the global market in smartphones. Did I just say that backwards? I think I said that slightly backwards. Anyway, researchers surveyed hundreds of medical cannabis retailers, processors, dispensary owners, and industry leaders over 6 months to a year. Researchers estimated that more than $1.43 billion worth of legal marijuana will be sold in 2013. That figure is expected to grow by 64% to $2.34 billion next year.
Oh my gosh.
By comparison, recent figures show the smartphone market expanded by 46% from 2012 to 2013. I'm going to go out on a limb here and say you guys are pleased with this and that there's no problem with the legal of.
I have stock in Funyuns, so I am very happy, very, very happy about this. I don't personally partake in the legal or illegal, drugs, but
I can confirm that because we were at a party
Yes.
and I saw you just say no.
I did.
I'm not saying anything about myself.
And everyone had their clothes on. Just want
Totally
yeah,
clothed.
we all
It was
had our
totally
clothes on,
clothed,
and
yeah.
I did say just say no.
Yeah.
But it was saying no because this Saudi chick wanted to drive. That's what I was talking about. I don't know if you.
Yeah.
But
Callback to a previous segment.
another callback.
Right. Yeah.
I think that if we can tax this. Are we taxing this?
Yeah. Well,
Colorado is, yeah.
That's the
Colorado
next
is.
step in
Yeah.
this,
So
yeah.
California needs to tax this.
Yeah.
Desperately. We need to take this marijuana money and put it into our schools so that our kids can know marijuana gave me an education. But I mean, I think that we need to definitely grab onto some of that. It's a lot of money, and I think it should be legal, and I think it should, I don't think these dispensaries should be shut down because federal people all of a sudden come in and go, hey, wait a second, we know it's legal in your state, but we're kind of, we don't like the fact that you guys are making money and we don't have anything to do with it, so we're going to shut it down just to spite you.
So just to clarify that, so that's actually what's happening now. So even in California, where we could walk out of here and go within a mile, we could probably find 5 pot dispensaries. It's legal here in California, but the feds do come in sometimes and seize everything, take all the money, shut the place down and all that. Is this just one of these things sort of like gay rights where as equality comes around, people realize, oh, it didn't destroy straight marriage, it didn't destroy the army, everything's okay, and as weed gets legalized, people realize, didn't do that much bad stuff.
Well, that's a key issue. I mean, as this younger population ages and they start voting, I mean, marijuana just isn't to these young people what it is to older folks now. And if you really look at research, most research doesn't point to any kind of negative effect that marijuana has on the human body. They're just kind of speculating that there's a problem. And to be really, really, frankly, serious about marijuana, there are some huge health benefits.
Yeah.
And people, especially people who are battling cancer. I have a mother who has ovarian cancer, and marijuana has been shown to actually shrink the size of tumors, stop the blood flow to tumors, and that's a huge issue. And if we can get in on that, make money off of that, tax that, and have no negative side effects that, some of the medications that we have for treating cancer along with it, that is huge. And if just to talk about the money itself, I think if you talked to any dealer, they could have told you how much money was actually in marijuana, just ask them. And then all of that going back into our system rather than, somewhere here or there, and everybody can get in on it.
Maybe we can stop the fighting on the border with the drug cartels and all that.
Right.
And I think what Beth is saying is, with the marijuana helping health-wise, if you like your weed, you can keep your weed.
Right.
I think that's really what we're
Just
saying.
make it legal.
Yeah. If you like your weed, you can keep, whatever you're calling it, your kush.
Kush is a very damp weed.
Can you imagine if the legalization of marijuana threatened gay marriage? Oh, and we came full circle. We fought so hard for equality in gay marriage, and then it just,
If legalizing weed was going to cost gay marriage, I'd be okay with it.
Is that the one that
I would
tips
be
the
okay with
scale
that.
for you?
All right, so is part of this, though, the reason that it's taking so long with weed, sort of just the cliche thing about weed is when you smoke it, you're a little lazier.
Well,
so
they're
it's like the
playing video
lobbyists.
games.
They're playing video games and, playing hacky sack.
Right.
So, it's hard to, like, get a real grassroots lobby, no pun intended,
Think about the people who are, in their 30s and 40s right now. They're part of the Just Say No generation. They're part of the Nancy Reagan, enforcing the different kind of lingo. They have that kind of in their heads that it's a bad thing. It's going to be a gateway drug to other drugs. And that's where the thought process is. But this younger generation is coming in with this idea that there are all kinds of health benefits.
What do you make of the gateway drug thing? I find that to be the stupidest possible thing because it implies somehow that if you took weed away, that nobody would get into drugs, but you would just start at a harder drug, right? I mean, isn't it just?
And the new thing would be cocaine would be the gateway drug, or
right?
heroin,
Exactly.
or
heroin would be the gateway drug. That would not be good.
Well, I mean, I ate glue as a child, and everyone said that's the gateway.
But you just say
But
that.
you don't smoke weed.
I know. So there you go.
So the gateway theory is gone.
There was something.
There was something there, guys.
Yeah.
There was something there, but
I
because
got
I
where you were
ate glue,
going.
I forgot what I was talking about.
Yeah. At the end of the day, to make this really happen, do we need Big Pharma to get behind it? Like,
No!
No, you don't
Big
think
Pharma
so?
or big farmers?
No, we're going to need
Fat
big farmers for
farmers.
sure, but no, do we need, because the prescription drug companies
No.
that give us all these drugs that make us have suicidal thoughts and diarrhea and, restless, all that stuff.
Do you want to talk about your morning?
All that stuff, every commercial, half the commercials about that stuff.
Right.
But that they're going to try to stop weed as much as possible because they can't have some sort of naturally grown
Right.
thing that's going to do all those good things.
Oh, I thought you were saying get them involved, like get them behind it.
No, but
You're asking if that
ultimately
has
to
to-
make it to really make it legal because of all the power they have,
Yeah.
that they're going to somehow steal the thunder behind this thing.
The great thing would be is if the voters, if the population made it so that
Right.
you don't elect people who are really, really against it, and then Big Pharma doesn't have to get involved because they're not going to have the power. Like this is a very idealistic view, but turn the power back to the people, let the voters make the decision, and then everybody else is going to have to catch up. And these
Right.
people who are already doing it are going to be on the forefront of it, and they're going to end up making a lot of the money, and maybe some of the power will go away from Big Pharma,
Yeah,
which
and
will
that's-
help with the healthcare
that's
industry.
their
Yeah,
fear.
and that's what's happening right now. But that's
Yeah.
my point, that's Big Pharma's fear. So I feel like automatically, just because of the amount of money they have,
Right.
they're going to somehow get in on this and screw it up somehow.
Listen, you want to get your weed from some guy named Dirtman Sam who lives in Venice Beach,
Yes.
who you have to literally like go underneath in a basement, in a crawl space to get to his apartment. And that's where you want to get your weed. You don't want to walk into a Save-On or a CVS and get your weed. That takes out all the fun out of it. This coming from someone who's not a
Who
pot
doesn't
smoker.
smoke weed?
But
I
I'm
know,
saying
you really have a
but
warped view of
I-
how people get their weed. It's
That's
really
not how everyone got it here.
No.
All the people working here.
No, they're all they have glaucoma.
They have glaucoma.
Right. They have cards.
You know,
cards.
I really hope that it does find some sort of middle ground. It doesn't get to Big Pharma. I don't want it to get to that place, but I don't want it just to be kind of gross and back alley and gunfights.
Right.
You know what I mean, with cartels. It just stays, like you said, in the people's hands. Like with that one hot nurse who wears a white lab coat on Venice Beach, telling you to come in if you have a headache, right? She's qualified. No one else knows what I'm talking about?
We're getting our weed buying advice from the girl who doesn't smoke pot.
Tell me
There
you haven't seen that chick in a white lab coat on Venice Beach.
Selling pot?
Yes.
Yeah?
Yes.
All right.
Get yours there.
We're going to take a little field trip
We
to
got to
Venice
go
Beach.
down right now, all of us.